So you're looking for a new home. It's so easy to fall in love with the surface stuff, right? The gorgeous kitchen, that perfect curb appeal. But here's the thing. What you can't see could end up costing you thousands. That's what this is all about. We're going to go full detective mode to spot those hidden red flags. And we're focusing on the #1 cause of home nightmares, water. And this, right here, is the million-dollar question. It's so easy to get swept up in the excitement of it all. But our mission today is to become detectives, to look right past the perfect staging and uncover the real story the house is trying to tell us.
And this really gets to the heart of the challenge. I mean, you see that beautiful kitchen, but what if there's a chronic leak hiding under that brand new sink? You see the great curb appeal, but is it just masking serious foundation issues? And fresh paint? Oh, that can be a homeowner's best friend for covering up the evidence of hidden mold. The crucial thing to remember is this. What you don't see is almost always the most expensive stuff to fix.
All right, so where do we even begin our investigation? We start outside. We're going to take a hard look at the home's first line of defense against its biggest enemy, water.
Okay, here are the first 3 things you absolutely have to check. First, the grading. You want to see the ground sloping away from the house. If it slopes towards it, well, you're basically rolling out the red carpet for water to come right into the basement. Second, the gutters. Are they clear? And do the downspouts actually push water far away from the foundation? Finally, get up close and personal with the foundation itself. Even tiny little cracks can turn into major highways for moisture.
And while you're out there, keep your eyes peeled for these specific clues that the home's defenses have been breached. Yeah, pooling water is a dead giveaway, but you gotta look even closer. Is the landscaping, like those pretty bushes, trapping moisture right up against the house? Is the caulk around the windows all cracked and peeling? And pay close attention to any bubbling paint. That's a classic sign that water is trapped right behind the surface, trying to get out. Okay, time to head inside. And now we're going to put our other senses to work. The basement is pretty much ground zero for moisture problems, so that's exactly where we'll start our interior investigation. Listen, this is so important. The second you walk into a basement or even just a closet, take a good, deep breath. Seriously, your nose might be the best tool you have in this whole process. That distinct, musty, damp earth smell, that's the signature scent of mold or mildew. It tells you there's a moisture problem, even if you can't see a thing yet.
All right, I'm going to give you a fancy word that'll make you sound like a pro. Efflorescence. If you see this white, kind of chalky stuff on concrete or brick walls, you are literally looking at the ghost of water past. It's what gets left behind when water seeps through and evaporates. It's a classic sign of chronic moisture.
And there are other clues to look for down there too. See rust on the bottom of the water heater or on pipes? That points to high humidity, maybe even a past flood. Dark stains on the concrete? That shows you exactly where water has been seeping through. And hey, don't just brush off seeing a ton of spiders or other bugs. They love damp places, so think of them as tiny 8-legged moisture detectors.
The big takeaway here is that you need to apply that same detective mindset in every single room. Don't just dismiss a faint, musty smell in a closet or a tiny light water stain on the ceiling. These small clues can often be the tip of the iceberg, pointing to much bigger issues hiding just behind the drywall. And make sure you hit these specific hotspots. Get a flashlight and look under every single sink for drips, stains, anything. Check the floors and the walls around the washing machine. Oh, and here's a wild pro tip for you. Lift the lid off the toilet tank. If you see black mold growing in there, it can actually be a sign that the HVAC system is spreading spores all over the house. Okay, let's move on up. We're talking about the attic and the HVAC system. You know, the whole out of sight, out of mind thing. Well, these spots can hide some of the absolute biggest and most expensive moisture-related secrets in a home. This is a huge one to check for in the attic. Find out where those bathroom fans are venting. They must vent all that warm, moist air outside the house. If a fan is just dumping that steamy air right into the attic space, you're basically creating a personal rainforest up there, a perfect recipe for mold to just take over everything.
You got to think of the HVAC as the lungs of the home. It's such a great way to put it because it's totally true. That system circulates every bit of air you breathe. So if the system is dirty or damp or pulling in bad air, it's just spreading that all through your home. A healthy HVAC is absolutely essential for a healthy home.
So what this really boils down to is whether the house has a closed or an open HVAC system. A good closed system pulls air from inside your home through sealed ducts. That's what you want. But an open system? That's a huge red flag. It can actually pull air from musty crawl spaces or dusty attics, basically vacuuming up all those contaminants and pumping them right into your living room.
Okay, so you've done your own detective work, you've found a few clues, now what? This is the point where you do your final checks and decide if it's time to bring in an expert.
When you do that final walkthrough right before you sign on the dotted line, you've got one last mission. Trust your nose one last time. Go into every closet, sniff every corner. And look, don't be shy. Ask the tough questions. Have you ever had any water damage here? Did you ever file an insurance claim for water? Their answers, or how they answer, can tell you a lot.
And this number right here is exactly why all of this detective work is so important. We're not talking about a few $100 for a simple fix. The cost of dealing with major, hidden water damage can easily spiral into the thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. This is the financial bullet you're trying to dodge.
So, while doing your own inspection is absolutely critical, it is almost always a super smart investment to bring in a professional, like a certified mold inspector or a home inspector who really knows their stuff when it comes to moisture.
And here's what you're really paying for with a pro: their expertise. They know all the secret hiding spots for moisture. They can interpret clues like efflorescence and see the bigger story that you might miss. But most importantly, they can tell you if you're looking at a minor, easy fix or a massive, deal-breaking problem. That clarity is worth every single penny.
So really, at the end of the day, this is the question you have to ask yourself. You're not just looking for a house with the right number of bedrooms. You're looking for a healthy home, a place that's actually going to support your well-being. By looking past the pretty surface and learning to spot these red flags, you can make sure your dream home doesn't turn into a costly, unhealthy nightmare.